Well, that was a really hard-fought game, pretty competitive on both ends. I thought defensively, it's pretty physical. Both teams kind of had each other's team scouted pretty well, so it was hard to run stuff. And we got out to a lead in the first half, and then they came and tied it in the second half, and then our guys really had to dig in. We didn't have a real good flow to us offensively, but I thought defensively we really did a good job of contesting possession by possession. There was about a 4 or 5 minute run there where we got them to miss, and we couldn't track down the rebound. Those big guys were kind of moving us around inside, and our guards weren't as active as I think we need to be at that time. Sometimes those big guys are locked up with physical contact on that shot, and it's hard to separate and go get the ball, and your guards need to be more involved in those defensive rebounds. But we'll watch and learn from that, and I'm really happy for the win, and look forward to our game on Saturday.
After the UVU game, you said some of your guys didn't adjust well to the intensity of an in-state game. Do you feel like you did a better job?
I do. I think that that first 10 minutes of the game, especially those cuts, we were just running off guys off screens, and we did a nice job of just communicating to each other and getting to them on a catch. We had a couple mistakes where we had 2 guys going for a rebound. I don't know if I've ever seen that. And they didn't give anybody credit for the points. Usually someone always gets credit for the points. And that went in, and then we stepped over the line. And so, we did a really good job early of contesting shots, and they didn't score for quite a while. Then they got those 4 points real quick. But I like the way that that our guys competed tonight on the defensive end. Offensively, we've got a lot of work to do, but on the defensive end, I liked it, and the thing that we can really improve on that defensive end is defensive rebounds after we get a miss.
You feel like you were more efficient offensively?
Get
out the ball where you wanted it.
The interesting thing about that is that if you look at the numbers of our post guys, the percentages are good. But we let them, I felt like a lot of possessions where they got us in the position they wanted us in. They pushed us away from the basket, and then instead of maybe getting the ball back out and relocating and reposting, that we just settled for a turnaround jump shot or a fall away shot, and those aren't that's not the reason that we're throwing that ball down inside, is to get a 12 or 15 foot shot from our post guys. And I think they understood that, and we did much better in the second part of the second half to get it down deeper, and it was pretty physical. A lot of contact on both sides, and a lot of free throws tonight too.
Can you talk about Mika's ability to finish that game like he did?
Yeah, he was being pushed around a lot of contact, and Braxton's a big, strong guy, and I think that when he fouled out, that was a big difference as far as our ability to just get it on the low block and score. He scored 3 or 4 baskets really late, where it was just a quick pass. Defender was on the high side, he was able to catch it and get right to the rim. But he worked hard. Eric worked hard all game long to try to help his team. And I'm proud of him. I think he did a really good job hanging in there.
Your other bigs complimented him really well, Yoli and Kyle.
Yoli and KD, and Jamal gave us a few good minutes in the first half. And it was a really slow-paced game. I think that Randy did a pretty good job of controlling the tempo of the game, and so it allowed us to, where guys didn't get tired. We played a lot of guys a lot of minutes, or a few guys a lot of minutes, and it was good for us to be able to compete and get a win.
With Eric, he said he likes the contact game, physical type game. Is that okay? You're okay with that? I mean, he's getting beat up in there pretty good, it seemed like tonight.
We're all trying to learn the new rules and how it's being called in there. And I think that referees are a challenge, especially in that restricted area of who's in whose cylinder. it's all a cylinder game. They've got a new actual call for the cylinder play. And I feel like, you know, when they walk into his cylinder, that they should call a foul. And it just seems like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You know, it might be a little more consistent problem. So he problem.
With the way your bigs have been able to play this year, can we expect to see the pace of BYU slow down a little bit so that their team focuses more?
I hope not. I hope we can find a way to bring it together. We've had really good teams here where we played inside out, and we've had one of the, you know, really fast-paced teams. And right now, it's a team, especially our perimeter guys, that we need more confidence. You know, confidence in our ability to race the ball up and get it in and get it out and get it back in again. It seems like our guards are really tense right now. So hopefully we can find a way to break through that.
What needs to happen for them to get that confidence back and get more comfortable on the court?
I think practice. That's what I think. And I think we're fortunate that in the next, 12 days, we've got 2 games instead of 6 to play from the 12-day stretch. So we can practice and we can work on it. And we've got some real, talked about this yesterday, or a couple days ago, we got some real data points of what are the real strengths of our team. And now we all can dial in and start to play to the strengths of that team and then improve some of the other things.
Colorado got you guys at their place last year. How big is this game for Saturday, and what do you need to do?
It's, yeah, I'm excited. It's a big game. They just beat Xavier tonight and on their home floor, and Tad's got themselves a really good team. And they're different, a little different than they were last year. A couple guys gone, but for years they've been a really fast-paced team. We'll have to see how they're playing right now, but that's a big win. I've seen Xavier play 3 times. And Chris Mack's, his teams are always really good defensively. And, but I'm looking forward to this game. And hopefully we'll be able to play two halves and really compete on both ends of the floor.
Difficult to forecast, but what type of defense do you expect Colorado to come out in? And
Well, they're a man-to-man team, and this Weber State team had us scouted really well, and they made everything really difficult for us. I told the guys this would be a lot harder game to score in than the USC game was. USC didn't have us, you know, quite as pinned in as a group. I mean, these guys did a really good job of using their second and third defenders on our guys, and we'll see what. The game was pretty loose over there last year. A lot of possessions. The thing I remember the most is that's where we found Zach Sellius. Came in the second half and really played well, and from that game on, he was a real player for us for the rest of the year.
Is the importance of the Colorado game magnified with how rare it is to get a Power 5 team in the Marriott Center?
Well, I think that you know, the guys will be excited for that in the play, but this group right now, it needs to lock out all of that stuff and just really concentrate on us and where we are and where we need to be. And this is a really good win for us, and it would be really good for the confidence of the group. And if we could put, you know, another win behind it, back-to-back, and I don't think we won back-to-back games for a couple of weeks, so it'd be good if we could.
What'd you think of Nick Emery's dunk at the end?
Well, I thought Nick had a really good defensive game. He played hard on the defensive end. He had a pretty tough assignment, and you know, he looked to me like all night like he had fresh legs. And you play a 40-minute game and then jump up there and try to dunk it. You got pretty good confidence in your conditioning, and so that was good for him. It's better than the one he had last year, if you remember that one.
you talk about refs consistency, and then Darnell brought up an interesting thing. Mika likes the physical game. Felt like a couple of games where he got into foul trouble, ticky-tack fouls called on him. He likes that physical.
I think it's pretty. That's what I tell you when I say this. What I believe is that he's just learning. He's trying to figure out how this is actually going to work, because a lot of the things that get done to him when he's on the offensive end, then he turns around and tries to do them on the other end, and he gets called for a foul. So those are the things that I think you just progress and learn. I tell you what he has done in the last 2 games really well, is he's got that 3rd foul, and then he can pick up the 4th foul. And you really, there's a real art in learning how to play, you know, with.
Do you know kind of roughly how the refs are going to call certain
Oh, yeah,
games pre-game?
I mean, you look at the videos they send out. I see, we just had a new one this week and watching it, and they're being instructed on how to call it. Okay, so, and this is the 2nd year that I've actually really dug into these things, because these rule changes are real, and I've got guys on missions that are going to come back, that didn't play it the first time, and so we're really trying to lock in and teach this, and there are times where you just feel like you like to grab that thing out and stop the game and say, wait, let's show this. I mean, what do you think?
Okay, thanks,
All
guys.
right, guys.